Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Ed with Professor Chris. Today is going to be another special one where, again, we're still trying to get help for all of our students. And when I say today is special, we're talking about the men and women that do so much for us and the opportunity they have to get some education, or what I like to say is another way to pay them back. I have with me today Miss Marilyn Terrell, but I'm glad to have this opportunity because I want to know more about Marilyn, and I'm sure she will tell us a little more about herself and the program they have here. So welcome, Marilyn.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
How are you doing?
Great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we get started, I want to make sure that you help me a little bit with the formalities of military style, right? My students, veterans, and military have told me never to salute them inside the room, the building. Please help me with that. True or false?
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
All right. Also, I cannot put on my hat when I come inside the room. So
take it off.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So since I can't do that, what's the best way to do the salute? I'm not going to do it, but I just want to know the right way to do it.
So usually you have it so it's down, slightly, and you salute, but you usually salute in the street or outside, and that is when you're, it's a form of addressing or respecting someone that outranks you.
Perfect. All right, so that being said, and I did tell the few friends that I know that are veterans, as well as some family members, that I'm doing this here, so they want to make sure that I call them out, so I want to give them their respect. So I do have Lieutenant Colonel Acosta, who was a dear friend of mine that I worked with. He's a reserve. I also do have Captain Perez. And on the family side, I do have Sergeant Tomlinson and a Master Sergeant, my own, yours truly, sister-in-law, Thompson.
Wow.
Well, so, yes.
Well, thank them for their service.
I will.
Because,
I will, yes.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. And also, in addition, I want to thank all the people that serve our country for this opportunity. So we're going to see how we can actually help them. Maybe this information they already know or not. So before we get into that, a little bit about yourself and your military background.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you. And again, thank you for having me. So I was raised in a military family. My father was in the Air Force. He was an Air Force fighter pilot. And when I got out of college and was looking around at what to do, had a great job on Capitol Hill. And I thought, I'd like to serve. So I joined the military. I went to basic training. I like to say, I was Private First Class Rennie at the time, but then joined the service. I met my husband in the service, and we both served and retired in the Army. My daughter actually served. She was in the Navy for 7 years. She's now a Navy veteran pursuing her education. And my son was in the National Guard. Wow. So we definitely are a military family, and it's been my honor and privilege to serve our great country.
Perfect. That's great. So that being said, before I even get into the programs that we have here, whose great idea was it to actually offer education to our men and women that serve this country? When did it all start?
Well, it started after, and it's been a while, the GI Bill started to get veterans that were coming home an education. And so, of course, Wake Tech is a military-friendly college, and we are here to support our veterans in pursuit of their veterans and their family members. Now we have the Forever GI Bill, and they can use that for themselves, or they can offer it to their family members. So we have spouses here, we have children. Just before you got here, there was a veteran that was in here waiting for his daughter to finish class. So we have great opportunities for our military and our veterans. And the GI Bill offers tuition assistance, it offers housing, and it offers a book stipend. So very helpful to our veterans.
Very good. I'm happy you mentioned the GI Bill because I was going to get into that as to who qualifies for the GI Bill.
Yeah.
You have to be active as a veteran. Who actually gets the GI Bill?
So if you're active duty, there's a separate program for you, but we have a great Veterans Services department here at the college. And Mr. McLam is the manager for that, and they will help you. You know, the rules change. Right. I don't want to say a certain thing going on. The rules change, but they definitely will assist every veteran or that veteran's family member when they want to pursue their education.
Okay, all right. So again, I'm still learning all the different areas of military veterans. When someone's, like one of my friends, like I told I worked with, he said he's a reserve. So what does that mean?
So, you know, sometimes you say, oh, you're a veteran or military. We have the active duty that are in the service, and they may be assigned around the world. They may be assigned, you know, they're from Fayetteville and they're assigned at Fort Bragg. But then we have reservists, and reservists in the National Guard work on the weekends, and usually it's 2 weeks a year unless they're deployed. So our National Guard here in the Raleigh area was deployed for a year to the Kuwait, and they got back about a year ago, a little over a year ago. But they have it where, and a reservist, the person you know, they may be a reservist that works on the weekend, but they may be on, they call active duty. So they bring them on active duty for a time period, for a job, for a project, or for deployment.
Okay. All right. So now let's talk about the school itself. Mm-hmm. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how somebody active could be enrolled. Do we have active military people enrolled?
So we may have some here at Wake Tech, probably not many. Okay. The ones that we normally have that are active duty are National Guard, so that they're National Guard and they have that weekend duty once a month, but they are not full-time. They may be full-time and they're taking classes part-time like our other adults that have full-time jobs. But also we have a category of active duty military. They're getting ready to leave the military. Okay. And they have a program now where if they request it and are approved, they will leave the service. They're still active duty, but their active duty service job will let them start school. Okay. So it might be that it's a Marine from Camp Lejeune. Right. They say, you know what, I heard Wake Tech's good, it has the program I want. So they allow them to still be on active duty, but start that semester. Okay. Helps them. Right.
So I take it it's easier for a vet who's done to actually be enrolled, so you have more of the veterans, correct? Is that
absolutely?
Okay.
Yeah, more of the veterans and more of the family members.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's talk about some of the challenges that our vets that enroll in any academic program will face.
So I would say there's a couple challenges. Maybe you talk to each veteran, they may give their own opinion, but there seems to be across the board, it's been a while since they've been in school. They haven't been in school for a while, and they're learning how to learn. It's a whole different, they've gone through a transition. They're used to being in a more regimented lifestyle. So they want to be able to be successful at being a student, but it's been a while. And, you know, we have our own language, and we have, you can imagine, first time you haven't been in school in several years, and then you're in an online environment. Very difficult. So we do have Veterans Upward Bound, which is a program for our veterans where it's a federal program. They receive a small stipend, but they can receive tutoring. They can take classes in computers, mathematics, some areas that they might need some a brush up before getting back in the academic setting.
Okay. So I should share this with you because I have taught a lot of students back in Florida, going Missouri before coming to Wake Tech. In Florida, I see my vets all the time. And they are, and it's not because I'm sitting with you today, but honestly, they are the most disciplined. I mean, they will show up on time in all my classes. And by the way, that's where I found out that I cannot salute my veterans inside the building, because before the classes starts, I know I'm always going to have some vets in there. So I will say, thank you all, for all you do. And I'm very happy to have you in my class. And then I immediately do that. And I had one of my vets come to me after class and say, Professor Chris, you're not supposed to do that inside the building. I'm like, oh, I do apologize. And interesting enough, I went back again, apologized, and still saluted. So that's how I learned that lesson. But I do definitely just wanted to point out that those are my most disciplined students, and I appreciate, the willingness to study. One very good example was when I told the class that, well, in this class, you have to know Calc 1 and Calc 2, some of the fundamental math classes. And they raved about why, they have to go back and relearn all this. And one of my veterans came to me after class and he goes, I don't know why they're complaining. I haven't done Calc 1 in 15 years and I'm ready to go. So I really admire and I appreciate comments like that. All right. So I know, and you've already touched on the challenges that some of them will have, is probably reprogramming themselves to get back into the learning environment to learn how to manage things. Now, I know sometimes there's the challenge, and unfortunately I had one incident where a student came to class and really wasn't prepared, and I said, are you getting help? And I don't want to delve too much into that, but I know that's been a challenge. You've mentioned the challenge of trying to get back into learning, but I also know that some of them constantly need to be seeing a counselor to get treatment as they go through the program. Here at Wake Tech, I'll use this as an example, do we have people in place that helps our vets with counseling? That is, yeah.
Well, we have our wellness counselors here at Wake Tech, and I'd like to point out we now have a veterans care team where we have academic advisors, we have wellness counselors, we have veteran services, veterans program. We're all a team to help our veterans. Now, we also have a way that if a veteran tells me that they are, or someone might tell me, a veteran might, through another veteran, tell me that they're having housing issues or they're having problems of any kind, then I can, we have a software program that we can put in all their data and they can receive help. The top 3 areas that veterans find the need is finances, housing, and employment. Of course, all those are linked. Right. So we are there to help them in a caring environment. We want to make sure, but we are this veterans care team that we have put together here at Wake Tech is one of the lead ones. We're one of the first teams, and we're here to help those veterans any way we can.
Sounds good. So all the 5 or 4 names that I gave with the relationship I have with people that are in the service, I know every one of them took advantage of their GI Bill to pursue higher education. And I really admire them, again, in addition to what they've done, but really, taking the next step to get into education. I'm not sure what the percentages are, but we have military men, women, and veterans who really don't use the GI Bill at all or think education is not for them.
Well, we have some here at Wake Tech, and I'd like to say that our veterans show leadership and things that you were talking about in the classroom. But the other thing is, veterans right now don't have to declare they're a veteran when they come to Wake Tech. Some choose, they say, I'm going to get a bachelor's and a master's, and I know I only have this finite number of months. So I'm not going to use it here at the community college because we know we're a good value here. I'm going to save that money for NC State or for that master's program. So they may decide not to use it. So if a veteran doesn't want to come forward, is not using their veteran benefits, we may not know they're a veteran. But sometimes they'll happen into our veteran zone where we are today, and they might say, gee, I'm enjoying it here. I want to come back. I want to have that camaraderie being with my other veteran buddies.
Very good. Is there a time limit on when a veteran has to use their GI Bill? Do they lose it if they don't use it? Yeah.
So it depends when they come in as a veteran. Okay. So if they're an older veteran, I'm an older veteran, I can't use my VA educational benefits anymore. But now they have what they call the Forever GI Bill. Okay. So they can use it. They can come in and use it. And then if they choose not to, the gentleman that was here this afternoon, he's letting his daughter use it.
Oh.
So they can pass it on to their family members, and they now have an infinite amount of time if they're eligible.
Okay. I think you've really answered most of my questions, but the whole idea for this is for any veterans and military people, I hope they see this interview to really see how to use that. Sometimes I think even both the veterans and the military really don't know that they have this opportunity, or I'm sure everybody knows, okay, I have a GI Bill, but what do I use the GI Bill for? I can use it for school, I can use it for other things. So I think hopefully this helps to kind of educate them on how to use that. Is there any suggestion? Well, let's start with where people can find you.
Yes, and I was just going to say, please, you may not remember everything that we talked about today, but I would like to say my name is Marilyn Terrell, Terrill. I'm at, if you want to email me or call or stop by, right now we're at the Northern Campus. We have 3 veteran zones. One's at the Northern Campus, one at the Southern, and one at RTP. And we would love to meet you. We have a lot going on. End of the month, for example, we collaborated with the foundation, and some of our veterans are going to go see the hurricanes. So we have a monthly meeting with SVA. We've implemented a salute, a Veterans Honor Society, which is great for your record and as you transition, because of all of our programs, our top 3 of the 4 right now are university transfer. So we have veterans that are going to go to another institution. That salute will look great on your record, but it's also a chance for you to get together with other veterans.
So Marilyn, I know you're trying to be very, very humble, just like every military person that I know don't want to use their title. But what is your title? What was your title again? Because I would like to remember that. What was your title? Yes.
My title in the military?
Correct.
So when I was in the military, I was in the United States Army, and I was a lieutenant colonel in the Adjutant General Corps, which means I did administration. Okay. And here at the college, I was a business administration instructor, but I was also the department head. Okay. And so definitely there's a lot of great jobs in the military, but that was a good one for me.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. So I personally would like to address you as Lieutenant Colonel. I think it's great. I think you deserve it. And I promise I'm not going to salute you here, but when I see you outside, I'm definitely going to salute you. Okay.
Well, I do want to thank you for recognizing the veterans in your class, because I know they appreciate that recognition.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, there we have it. I know this was quick, this was short, but another edition of Let's Talk Ed with Professor Chris. It's a great, great, great honor to be sitting here today with Lieutenant Colonel Marilyn. It was a privilege. Stay tuned, subscribe. If there was anything that you need to know that we missed out of this interview, please reach out and we'll make sure that we address it. Thanks again, Marilyn.
Thank you.